People you know in FNAF are honestly sometimes incredibly stupid. Even if they're supposed to be the good guys, they're ignorant, impulsive, and honestly sometimes just as bad as the people they're trying to prevent from resurrecting again. So today we're gonna look at some of the most horrific things people in the series have done that I've missed and that we haven't talked about. You know what? This whole thing isn't Afton, but he's certainly on it quite a bit. Let's do it. In a tent, breaking and entering. Gregory has quite the reputation for getting inside the Pizzaplex, at least if he is Client 46, which at this point I am unsure. But either way, whoever Client 46 is known for breaking into the Pizzaplex, as we learned through the therapy CDs that you can find at the end of Security Breach. The ones involving Client 46 are certainly, maybe intended to be Gregory, although they might be this new blonde chick from Ruins. And every time they break in, they end up getting caught on camera or by technicians or someone working there, enough times to actually mention it to the therapist, who then brings it up with 46. Breaking and entering would actually be what they'd actually be charged with that if they weren't under 12 and seemingly could actually get caught. But despite a few witnesses, the cameras never get a solid shot of them, possibly due to Vanny, since the camera was distorted when they were talking to someone with bunny ears. I originally thought that the distortion could be Gregory as a robot, however it was pointed out to me in the comments that it was most likely Vanny, just because she messes with CRT and stuff, and yeah. In a 9, bunny suit. Now, making the suit itself isn't scary, okay? People do it all the time. Hell, I've made a couple costumes, or at least I've helped with one. But the creation of the bunny suit itself, that's not the scary part. The scary part is why she made the suit, okay? The implications and the reasoning behind it, because Vanny makes the costume because William forced her to do it when he was taking over her brain, threatening her if she didn't comply, and then, you know, they made the suit to turn children into corpses. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty horrifying, especially, like, this is what the suit was made for specifically. Like, maybe the original Spring bodysuit wasn't made for that and just ended up becoming it, but this suit was specifically designed with that in mind. Okay, same thing could be said for Glitchtrap, but that's not a physical suit, it's a digital manifestation that takes control of people's brains so that he could have a vessel in a video game world, okay? But this is an actual costume, okay? With the express purpose of getting close to kids, and then, yeah, so pretty terrifying. Not to mention the furry implications, which make it a whole lot worse. In at 8, impersonation. Identity theft is not a joke, Jim. Especially not when it's an animatronic impersonating a kid. Yeah, that's right, you heard it right here. Baby in the FNAF novels ends up impersonating Charlie, but not teen Charlie. Haha, no. Instead, she ends up impersonating adult Charlie because the books weren't complicated enough already. Basically, in the novels, Baby has the ability to change between a realistic human-looking thing and her normal circus baby look, and she does this thanks to pins on her body. No idea how that helps her go from a 7-foot tall animatronic to a 5'9" woman, but oh well. Anyway, for some reason, Baby and Charlie's adult robot version are the same robot, and it's unclear why, since Henry made a series of 4 robots for Charlie after she was killed in 1983, which doesn't really make sense given what we know about the timeline already, but I guess it's different in the books because at that point Elizabeth would have been killed in an already created baby animatronic, meaning that Henry would have had to make the first 3 robots from scratch and then thought, nah, I'll just turn this, the adult one can just be this robot here, and then it just so happened to also be possessed by Elizabeth. But honestly, okay, there's a whole load of plot holes in the book, so we'll just ignore that. Either way, identity theft isn't cool. And at 7, left his sister. Now, don't get me wrong, allowing yourself to be a vessel for a group of evil dickbags is one thing, but the other ending doesn't really actually get him off the hook either, okay? In the other ending for Sister Location, the other ending, the non-canon one where Ennard attacks you while you watch Immortal and the Restless, you end up actually leaving your sister in the underground storage facility for dead. Well, I mean, like, not for dead since she's already dead and possessing an animatronic, but you don't even try and like help her or set her free. And that's assuming that what we did in the previous games, you already knew how to set them free, so like, why wouldn't you do that for your sister, okay? Exactly. That's what I thought. My sister and I, okay, we don't always see eye to eye. Sometimes she can't take my hilarious jokes and exceptional humor. But I'd still release her soul if it was trapped inside a 6-foot tall giant robot, okay? I would. But this man, he just leaves, okay? And we know that he knows it's Elizabeth, but he doesn't care, okay? What a great big brother, alright? You screwed up one sibling, but like, you know, let's screw the other one over too, right? And at 6, Henry. Why did William think that killing Charlotte wouldn't have any consequences, okay? Like, you killed your business partner's daughter, that's gonna be pretty obvious to him, especially since he was already suspicious that you were up to something. He took extra care to protect his daughter and she still died, okay? That's a vengeful father origin story if I've ever heard one, and he didn't even need vengeance yet. So then, when you know he's after you, or maybe like he seems like he's after you, why didn't you kill him next? Killing Henry could have done wonders for your criminal career. I mean, like, yeah, the cops were already suspicious of you, but as long as they can't find a body, you'll be clear again, okay? That already happened once. If they didn't put you away for 5 missing kids, they're not gonna put you away for a missing father as well. Especially a jury who has to be convinced beyond a reasonable doubt that you are the killer. And without a body, there is no real forensic evidence. And again, they didn't put you away for the kids, so why would they put you away for Henry, okay? Or just why? You're stupid, William. God. Halfway through into number 5, steals merch. While yes, Gregory does steal multiple items while we play through the game, he also has already stolen stuff prior to the game starting. If you pay attention to his character model and some of the certain comic panels and various endings, we can actually see that his shirt and shoes, at the very least, are Freddy Fazbear themed, okay? They have his head on, like, the designs, and considering how this kid has no home, sleeping in a cardboard box in the worst ending, I doubt he could really afford to properly purchase Fazbear Entertainment clothing. So needless to say, he steals the clothing off of Freddy's back. This is why they have to keep opening, okay? Otherwise they'd be bankrupt, and the current CEO, whoever they are, would also end up having to live in a cardboard box. This one kid is the reason they can never fully close, and you know what? That's on Gregory. Every person who's ever died is Gregory's fault. And at 4, destroyed Freddy. Both the Phaser Blast and the Princess Quest endings both require you to have gone through the Phaser Blast section of the map, okay? Since you need to discover Vanny's secret room. Without the Princess Quest machines active though, you are unable to play the third one, so you just end up enacting vigilante justice against Vanny. How do you do this, you ask? Using the same robots that she's ordered to dismantle Freddy, which ends up making a group of staff bots literally tear Freddy limb from limb. I mean, he keeps his limbs, but like his insides are absolutely destroyed. Like me when I eat too much Taco Bell after a heavy night of drinking. His insides are torn apart, and he can only survive by you removing his head and then bringing it with you, okay? I said in another video that that's a whole other can of worms, but still, okay? She disassembles Freddy, which apparently to Gregory is enough justification for the robots to just tear this woman to shreds. So there's little left of her. We don't even try to unmask her after that, possibly because that little monster didn't want to see the human face behind the person he just actually killed. But still, that was kind of mean. And at 3, stuffed. One of the most deranged things William Afton did was stuff the bodies of the original 5 missing children into the original 5 animatronics: Bonnie, Foxy, Freddy, Chica, Golden Freddy. And the craziest part is that he didn't get caught for it. The animatronics smelt like death and started leaking blood and other fluids, and the police didn't bat an eye. He put these bodies in animatronics that perform in front of other kids every single day. How did he think that it was a good idea? Unless it was like his way of displaying his kills or something, which like some crime shows mention, but like some killers enjoy the world knowing what they did, but he doesn't even do that. He just hides them. Like maybe if he didn't, like they didn't know the bodies were in there, he could have been using it as an ego boost, which is still messed up, and it opens so many other doors. Okay, how did the police not confiscate the animatronics when they were literally soaked in blood? But ultimately into number 2, Chomp. I think we all know that Michael is certainly at least partially responsible for the bite of 83 because, well, William did superpower the jaw of the animatronic. If Michael didn't put his brother's head in the mouth, it wouldn't have really mattered. And while yes, he thought that he'd be safe because it's an animatronic mouth, how bad could it really be? He still definitely contributed to crying child's death. It's interesting the way that fate works, okay? In this instance, we can really blame anyone for the death of the crying child, but I'm absolutely certain that at the very least, Michael blamed himself at the beginning. After learning what William was up to, maybe he felt slightly less guilty, but all it would really do was just assure him that he didn't have the intention of killing his brother. But either way, without him, nobody would have put his head in the animatronic mouth. So yeah, getting your little bro chomped is is definitely gonna send you downstairs, you know, especially when you died of fire. That's just poetic irony. And finally, in number 1, Springtrap. Being the genius behind some of the most advanced robotic technology in this universe, we expect a lot from William. He's the suit technician, but he's also the main killer, so like he should really know what he's doing, right? Haha, no. Since after discovering that the original 5 animatronics were possessed, he disassembled them to learn their secrets, which inadvertently released their spirits, because, you know, that's a whole thing, causing William to panic, which I mean is fairly reasonable since, like, you know, they're freaking ghost kids, but they're also the ghost kids that you killed, so yeah, I'd freak out too. But this absolute animatronic genius, the technician that handles the suit maintenance and has explained to every employee how the proper procedure for the spring lock suits, including the spring body one, ends up climbing inside the suit in a panic in an attempt to make himself feel more powerful and maybe scare the ghost kids away. However, he's so stupid that he didn't notice that the ceiling was leaking, causing the spring locks that were active at this moment since it was in suit mode to fail, which would have killed him had he not been possessed by the one you should not have killed. That's all the time we have for today, friends. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been in Charmaine Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video. I was talking really fast, but you know what? Just hit 0.75 speed and you're good.